Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to work on a hammer. I'm going to make me a hammer. This was in a pile of junk that I got from the estate sale, the online estate sale, and this is a hammer handle I bought about a year ago down at Canton, Texas. There was a guy there selling handles. I think I paid $4 or $5 for the hammer, the handle. Anyways, it's probably seconds. It's got some, I call them beetle holes. I don't know for sure what they really are. It'll be a good framing hammer. I like straight hammers. These are these is what I first started using when I was a kid, was a framing. The old gentleman that I worked for didn't like claw hammers, so curved claw, let's say, curved claw. Anyways, I'm going to salvage this out of it, and then I'm going to clean it up and just blue it. It's probably just a cheap, no-name brand hammer, but I mean, I've got maybe $1 at the most in the head and like $5, so I'm going to have a hammer for $6. So let's go to taking this out. I want to save the metal wedge if I can grab hold of it. Oh yeah, it's coming out easier than I thought. Save the wedge out of it. Getting a chunk of wood out now. Guess I could use a drill, probably easier. But I thought it was in pieces, so. Huh. Well, I thought it'd just pop out, but that was a mistake. I just need to go grab a drill and make a few holes. Wouldn't you know it, right when I get started, battery dies. Nah, better do it this way. And I am hitting it with a metal cap screwdriver, these channel lock. If you ever find these, man, they're awesome. Yeah, one piece of wood, tough. All right, let's take it to the wire wheel and see what we got. I was hoping it'd be a name brand, but I don't think it is. right, I went ahead, put it on the belt, the head on the belt sander, and then I went over the fiber wheel a little bit. Now I'm just going to give it a light polish. I'm going to blue the rest of it. You can see the mill marks from the factory when they made this. It's still on there. It was not used as a hammer. There's not even a dent. I'm thinking he broke this trying to use it as a pry bar. A lot of old timers would use these claw hammers, these straight claws, as pry bars. Even though they weren't, that's what they used them for. I bet you that's why the handle got broke, because there is not a dent anywhere. There looks like maybe they might have got a chip there from a nail, but I don't know. That could be factory. But there's no damage to the head at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and polish it up, and I'm gonna give it a light polish and then blue the rest of it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the hammerhead almost fits on there. I could probably tap it in there, but I want to get the first inch or so a little looser to where it wedges down on the head, on the handle better. So that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm gonna use belt sander instead of trying to whittle this down or anything like that. I'm gonna cheat. All right, let's dry fit this thing first a little bit, see what it looks like. Well, wonder how far I can get it now. Almost at the point of no return. Well, that sucked. I'm getting there. Let me hammer it some more and see how far I can get it down. I want to show you I screwed up. I did not cut my slot. That sucks. I'm getting in a hurry. That's what happens. That sucks. Now I'm going to have a hard time getting this apart. Oh well, I need to cut my slot for my shim. I might as well just sand some more off because I want it down about another ½ inch. I want about a ½ inch protruding out the top. Shoot. All right guys, cut my slot, curve, whatever the hell you want to call it. I call it a slot. Anyways, drive it home now. I was using my rawhide hammer earlier, but it doesn't have the oomph. Oh yeah, see? starting to curl down there. I want to set it a little further down. I can hear the tone. It's getting harder and harder. That's it. It's getting there. It is getting there. Yeah. Hang on, let me get a box knife. I want to cut a little bit of the curls off. Stupid glasses are bothering me. You know what? I should have stained it before I put it on, or blued it before I put it on. I don't think I can get that down any further. Boy, that is on there. That is wedged in there. Okay. Let me get a wood shim. Only thing I don't like about these are not, they don't fill the gap in. And I'm going to have to use the shims to fill it in. All right. All right, let me cut it off. All right, got the wood wedge. Now I'm gonna put the steel wedge in. Hang on, I gotta get my gloves on. Can't work with gloves on like this. All right, let's see what I got here. Right about there is where I want it. That's what I got. And the camera's dirty. The only thing I don't like is I got a little bit of gap, but boy, it's wedged in there pretty good. All I could do to get that on there like that. All right, I'm working backwards. I screwed up. Like what I should have done is blued the head before I went any further. Anyways, I got to clean it now before I blew it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now to clean the head, to blue it, I use carburetor cleaner. You can use naphtha. I think you can use mineral oil. I've never used it. What you're wanting to do is get the black off. Get all the trash off. Get your fingerprints, your oils. And of course, there's a lot on there. Do it till nothing comes off. See, it's almost, I'm almost there already. It's a good day to do this. It's I think it's 108 degrees outside today, so once I get this blued, I'll set it outside and let it bake in the sun. It's called cold bluing, but with the heat, leaving it set out in the sun, it's pretty much like hot bluing. All right, that's all I'm gonna do. Wipe it down. I use this cold bluing material. This stuff, very good stuff. I like it. You can use this. This you have to rinse. This you don't. larger items, apply with like cotton ball or something. Me, I use paintbrush. Yeah, see how black it turns? Turns blue almost immediately. And you'll get, here, let me get a little closer. You'll get splotching, but don't worry about it. It evens out. Once you use your steel wool on it, it evens out. And this bluing, what it's for is just protection of the metal. I mean, it was still rust. Leave it out in the rain, or, you know, get it wet, not wipe it off, not clean it. But it's a layer of protection that your plain steel doesn't have. This is inexpensive, easy to use, easy to do. You can do it just about anywhere. You can do it at the front porch, the kitchen table. It doesn't take, and there's no chemical smell. It's not going to, you know, make you pass out from the smell. But the only thing that'll make you pass out, and that's if somebody doesn't like carburetor cleaner, use a cleaner that you like to use. I use carburetor cleaner because that's what I use. You can use naphtha. I don't like naphtha. Carburetor cleaner is easier for me to control, so that's what I use. I'm actually going to put 2 coats on this. You're supposed to let this sit for 60 seconds. Wipe it dry, and then you blend the coloring with steel wool. I call it blending. You can call it whatever you want. But you just wipe it dry. Now I'm not staining or not bluing the polished part of it, the head, just because that's what I want. You can blue the whole thing. And don't let this sit for a long period of time. If you do, the bluing doesn't blend together. Now, see the discoloration? See all that? It looks nasty. It doesn't look like it doesn't look right. Watch this with I think this is 1/0 steel wool. I like 4/0, but I haven't been in town to get any. Like I said, I should have blued this before I put it on the handle, but sometimes you don't think about it and you screw up and you work backwards. And that's what I did. Nobody gonna die from it. It ain't no biggie. All right. See how it blued? It kind of blended together. You don't have those splotchy spots. So now, I'm just going to wipe it off real quick. Then I won't put another coat on. I don't like these stupid fibers off the steel wool. See if it darkens anymore. Yeah, it's darkening a little bit. It's bluing a little more. Sometimes you do this and you don't get any more color. You don't get any more darkness out of it. Every metal takes staining different. I call it staining. It's bluing. Takes it differently. There's guys out there that do very, very good job of bluing. They do very good work. I'm just an amateur at this. This works for me. I'm just showing you something very easy and simple to do. You can do at home. You can do this on your back porch. You don't need a lot of, you know, fancy tools. You don't need a lot of work. It's darkening a little bit. In spots, it's darkening more than others. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing hard to it. Nothing at all. Cold bluing is probably one of the easiest ways to treat your metal. I mean, you can heat it up, get it hot to a certain temperature and dunk it in old oil and do the similar thing. The only thing is, that takes time and I don't want to get my torch out. I want to try it though. I've tried doing it, but I didn't do it right. Well, now I got a good blue on this now. This thing's starting to turn a real good color. You remember, I've only got like $6 in this hammer. Maybe 7. Look at that. See the difference in discoloration? Look real closely at the differences. Now, when I use the steel wool, it'll blend it all together. Can't see what I'm doing on the top. I'm gonna stand up a little bit here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, check that out. Look at the bluing. See how it blends all together? It actually looks really good. I mean, for the inexpensive, easy way to give your tools some protection, this is it right here. And I did it in real time. I didn't fast forward or anything, so you can see that it didn't take much. Now I got the handle all dirty with my hands. Hang on, let me wipe the handle off. The wood was nice and clean. I should just go ahead and linseed oil the handle and just call it a day. Oh, the heck with it. Might as well do it now while I'm thinking about it. It's going to be a good hammer. I'm not staining it. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm just giving the hammer. Normally what I do when I do something with a wooden handle, every day for a week, I put linseed oil on it. And once a month or once a week for a month, and then I put it up. And then my birthday month every year, I go through all my wooden handle tools and I linseed oil it. Those of you who know tools are expensive, you do the same thing. Now, I'm going to linseed oil the top, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand it up outside and then give it a coat. But before I do that, since it's nice and warm outside, I'm going to use this 3-in-1 oil. I'm going to give this a coat on the bluing. And the reason I'm doing this is it darkens it outside in the sun. I think it's something to do with the properties of the oil. I don't know how to explain it, except it turns black and it actually looks good, looks really good. There's guys, I'm sure somebody out there is going to tell me why it does it, but I don't care. I just know it does and it works for me. So this is what I'm doing. The one gentleman gave me a great idea by getting a toaster oven and hot bluing with a toaster oven. I never thought of that. That was a great idea. I'm gonna try that this winter when it gets cool where I can't set stuff outside. But right now, at 110 or 108 degrees for 6-8 hours, and then tomorrow will be close to 100 tomorrow. I'll just let it sit in the sun, let it get nice and hot. Shoot, I've been out of the camera, sorry. See what it looks like now, and we'll see tomorrow after it dries up a little bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the end of the video. This is that wormhole wormhole handle. The color on it's real good with the linseed oil, the boiled linseed oil on this hammerhead. One thing I want to point out, and if you put linseed oil on and set it out in the sun, there's still part of it that's still sticky, and this has been sitting out for a couple days in the sun. Now, the reason I set it out in the sun is because after I blew it, I put the 3-in-1 oil on it, and it bakes it. I mean, it turns it black, not blue. It turns this black. Look at the color on this. It does a very, very, very good job of bluing it. Kind of like a hot blue. Right now, again today, it's 103 degrees, and that's in the shade because I have digital thermometers and stuff. I have a weather station outside and it's in the shade. It's 103 in the shade. So setting out in the sun, it gets really warm. This handle head does not have a maker's mark of any kind on it. The head turned out really good. I could have done a better job of polishing. I didn't see a need. It's not it kind of looks like a Vaughn head, but I don't think it is because it's not marked. It wasn't damaged, so more than likely this is probably made in India or China, somewhere like that. The thing of what gets me though is the metal is a good quality. So don't know, but anyways, just this is what I use. I use the bluing. This is the bluing I used. I like this bluing, and then after I blue it, I coat it with that 3-in-1 oil and then just let it sit outside and heat. One of the viewers gave me a good idea. I need to get a small toaster oven, because during the wintertime, when it gets colder, I won't be able to just set this stuff outside the sun and let it bake. So I'm gonna find a used toaster oven and use that as to bake the color on. And while I did that, I did this little, my wife collects these little trinket beer cap remover thingies. Anyways, it's an old Miller High Life. Anyways, it's pretty cool. I thought I blued it because it was rusted really bad, and I blued it and I did the same thing. I just set it out in the sun and let it bake. But I thought that was a little thing from my wife. She collects those things. So, but anyways, I want to show you. I screwed up. If you see, you can see a little bit. It's sticky. It's not bad, but I'm gonna leave it inside and let it dry. I'm not gonna put it back out in the sun. I should not have put the boiled linseed oil on, and it may be because I got it too thick. I don't know. But I'll let it. I've let them dry in the building inside, and it went away. I'm not going to put any more coats on it until this soaks in real good. I need to put a little bit more on the end, and it filled in really well. You see a little gap there, and you see the little gap. That will not affect it. It works just fine. I don't see it be a problem. If I keep it linseed oil, if I keep it oiled, it'll be a good hammer, good usable hammer. It's probably a 20 ounce. I didn't measure it. I didn't weigh it to see, but it's probably 20 ounce. It's got a good feel. It's a good hammer. I mean, I choke them. I choke my hammers a lot. I like the feel of the hammer, but I haven't swung it, so I have to use it for a while to figure out if I like it or not. This hammer is a good usable hammer, nothing fancy. I've got maybe $6 in the handle and maybe, let's say, $1 in the head. So it was that was what I bought out of the estate sale. It was salvageable, so I thought it was worth buying or putting together, excuse me. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you think. Would you have wasted your time? I think it's worth it. I mean, it's just it's a good usable hammer. It's not super fancy. I'm not a fan of curved claws. I like these straight hammers. We always called them framing hammers. I really don't know. That's the way I was taught, so that's what I call a framing hammer. You guys can call it whatever you want. But that's the way I was taught. And someone's gonna say, I know someone's gonna say it, they'd always do, why didn't I glue my wood shim in? I was not taught to glue wood shims in, because on a job site, if your head comes loose, you can repair it without cutting the handle off and drilling it out. A lot of times if they're loose, you can take the heads off, make you a new shim, put it back together, put your wedge back in, and you're good to go. A lot of old timers that I worked with had 2 and 3 hammers. Some of the guys, I say guys, these are older men. I'm 13, 14, 15 years old, and these guys are in their 60s and 70s, and they would use a hammer. They'd use a hammer until the hammer was worthless. You couldn't salvage it. About all it was good for is deconstruction. So these old timers would make a wedge. They'd use shell blanks. They'd cut the shell blanks, make rings, they would cut small pieces of conduit and make wedges. Instead of wedge, it'd be a ring. So they would cut shims with a skill saw right there on the job site. And they would never glue a shim in there, a wedge, whatever you want to call it. That's the way I was taught. I do know a lot of guys love gluing them in. That's fine. That's the way they were taught. There's no right or wrong. And I have seen guys, I see an old timer, we would go to lunch, his head would be wobbling and loose on there. We go to lunch, he'd stick the end of his hammer in a bucket of water, and when you come back, it swole up. It's not the best, but that's the way they did it. So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you think. Give me thumbs up, thumbs down. Do you like how it turned out? I think it turned out great. I got less than $6-7 in this thing, except maybe an hour of my time. And I will linseed oil the handle some more, but I'm gonna let this dry up. It's too sticky here. Here it's dry, and here it's dry. But I will. Normally, what I do is once a week for a week, and then once a month, or once a week for a month, and then all my handles on my birthday month, I could give them a good coat of oil, linseed oil. And for those of you, get you one of these little ketchup bottles, put your linseed oil in it, because you can direct the flow a lot easier. The can it comes in sucks because it pours out everywhere. Dollar store, $1.25, these little things right here, perfect. Anyways, y'all give me thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe if you like. I bring junk tools back to a good usable condition. This was a junk handle, or a junk head, and I bought these seconds out of, I think, Canton, Texas. These were all seconds handles, and made a good purchase. But anyways, good hammer for a real good price. I mean, it's worth putting together. All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a good day.